All right, Jake, we sure appreciate it. Thank you. Well, the country is saying goodbye to former President Jimmy Carter, who made his more than 4 decades in retirement a second act dedicated to philanthropy and faith. Now, Carter faced several health challenges in his later years, but pressed on with a joyful spirit. Christian Benavides has the story.
James Earl Carter Jr., the 39th President of the United States, was surrounded by his family when he died peacefully at home in Plains, Georgia on Sunday. Former President Carter celebrated his 100th birthday in October, along with a backyard military flyover honoring his service in the Navy. Outside the Carter Center in Atlanta, mourners are leaving flowers, candles, and signs like this one, saying, "We love you, President Carter." At the U.S. Capitol and the White House, the flags have been lowered to half-staff. The Empire State Building was bathed in red, white, and blue lights to honor the former president. A moment of silence was held for Carter before the Washington Commanders' Atlanta Falcons game outside the nation's capital. President Biden is among countless world leaders and dignitaries to express their condolences.
Today, America and the world, in my view, lost a remarkable leader. He was a statesman and humanitarian. And Jill and I lost a dear friend. I've been hanging out with Jimmy Carter for over 50 years, it dawned on me. Jimmy Carter lived a life measured not by words, but by his deeds.
In 2023, Carter said goodbye to his beloved wife of 77 years. Rosalynn, the former peanut farmer turned governor of Georgia, was elected president in 1976 in a race against President Gerald R. Ford.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Next month marks 48 years since Carter was sworn into office. His single term in the White House saw the highs of negotiating the Camp David Accords, bringing peace between Egypt and Israel, and the lows of the Iranian hostage crisis. In the years after leaving office amid defeat to Ronald Reagan in 1980, Carter's human rights and social welfare campaigns helped earn him the Nobel Peace Prize. For decades, Carter built houses with Habitat for Humanity.
Morning, everybody.
And drew national crowds to his Sunday school classes. Late in life, he battled a series of medical challenges, including cancer, a broken hip, and surgery to relieve pressure from bleeding on his brain. The longest-living former president spoke to churchgoers about his own mortality.
I didn't ask God to let me live, but I just asked God to give me a proper attitude toward death. And I found that I was absolutely and completely at ease with death.
To the end, Jimmy Carter led a life of public service that impacted and inspired millions.
Well, Kansas says 2 U.S. senators paid their respects to Jimmy Carter. Senator Jerry Moran says Carter lived a life of service as a member of the Navy, the governor of Georgia, and the president of the United States. He called him a leader and a champion of human rights. Senator Roger Marshall offered his prayers. He says Carter had an unwavering commitment to public service and says he was devoted to protecting, serving, and giving back to America. Local leaders from here in Kansas sharing their thoughts on Carter's passing. Representative Ron Estes releasing this statement. He says President Carter dedicated to service and volunteerism throughout his life, well beyond his presidency, and says his prayers are with the Carter family. Governor Kelly calls former President Carter a truly moral man. She cites his humanity, humility, devotion, and his belief that the world could live in peace as his legacy. She says a corresponding order for flag honors will come at a later date.